What's going on, guys? Tom Newsham back with another video, and today we're going to be checking out the 5 levels of breakfast. What's going on, guys? Tom Newsham back with another video, and today we're going to be checking out 5 common breakfasts that people have and how good they are for weight loss. You could almost say this is the 5 levels of breakfast for fat loss. Now hang on a second. What does that actually mean? Basically, I'm going to give you 5 different examples of common breakfasts which are going to rank from worst to best in how they will support your fat loss. And breakfast is of course the most important meal of the day. So without further ado, let's get into number 1. So this is very, very common with what you see with a lot of people when they come in. They've got busy lifestyle, busy job. They generally skip breakfast, and on their way to work, they'll stop off at a coffee shop, Costa, Cafe Nero, Starbucks, and they'll get the breakfast deal. They'll get the coffee with a pastry, the cappuccino with a muffin. Now this is an absolutely delicious breakfast, and there's nothing wrong with this in moderation. However, if you're going in for a croissant, if you're going in for a pain chocolat or a muffin, there is very, very little nutritional value. There's next to no fibre, and it is basically just butter and sugar, depending on what you get. Now because of this, it probably won't even touch the sides, and you will probably start feeling hungry before you've even walked out of the coffee shop. Now you couple that with a nice milky coffee with a few sugars and maybe a pump of caramel in there, and you have a breakfast which doesn't fill you up, which could get up to 700 or 800 calories. Now all of this comes together in order to create a high calorie, low nutrient breakfast, which unfortunately does not fill you up despite how tasty it is. And it's not just that. If you're trying to lose weight, you probably want to focus on higher protein foods, and with this breakfast the only protein you're really going to be getting is from the milk. Not only that, it's expensive if you're doing it every single day. So coffee and a pastry is unfortunately at the bottom of the barrel at level 1. Now just an honourable mention before we move on to number 2 is the classic, I don't have any time, I'm just going to grab a protein shake on my way out. The pros, it's very low calorie and it's high in protein. Of course, it's a very, very convenient way to get 20 to 30 grams of protein. Now if you add a little bit of milk to there as well, you're going to get a little bit of fat, you're going to get a little bit of calcium as well. Now being low in calories, it will not fill you up. So having 150 calories of protein shake in the morning is not really a breakfast that is going to fill you up for longer. That is kind of like almost like a pit stop on the way to your breakfast. But this isn't number 2, this is just an honourable mention. Of course, we've all been there, we've all run out of time, and we've all just decided, you know what, I'm just going to have a protein shake because I'm literally running out of time before lunchtime and I want to have something before the gym. It's absolutely fine to do that every now and again. However, if you're doing this long term, like 7 days a week, you're probably going to find yourself getting hungry towards mid-morning. And unfortunately, that can lead to snacking, and that of course can slow down your progress on your diet. So level 2 is what we call the calorie bomb. Now this is something like granola and yogurt. It seems really, really healthy. It seems like you're getting a really good breakfast in. You're adding the fruit in there, you're adding the granola, you're not weighing it out, you're just adding the yogurt and everything, the Greek style yogurt. Now despite how tasty and healthy this can be, this can actually be a very, very high calorie meal. And if you're trying to lose weight, that is not what you want as your first meal of the day. But let's not focus just on the negatives. It can be quite a good meal. Now Greek yogurt is high in protein. It's also very good for you. It's good for gut health and digestion, and it tastes really good with fruit, which of course adds fibre, nutrients, minerals and vitamins. Now if you want a quick tip which is going to reduce the calories and increase the protein, you want to go for 0% fat Greek yogurt. Not Greek style, but Greek yogurt. Greek style is Greek yogurt, but it's very, very runny and it's been watered down, and therefore it doesn't have as much protein, but it does still have the same amount of sugar, carbohydrates and fats. Of course, if you go for 0% fat as well, you're going to have lower calories in there. It's not going to taste as good, but it is going to support your weight loss. So that is Tom's top tip of the video. Swap the Greek style yogurt for 0% fat Greek yogurt. So number 3, and this might surprise a lot of people, but again, remember, this is for weight loss. Number 3 is just your classic bowl of cereal on a morning. Now the pros of this is typically, if weighed out, if measured, it can be low in calories. Unfortunately, they're lacking in a lot of nutrients. Now I know some cereals, they put that they've got iron on and B6 and niacin and stuff like that in there, which is true, but again, they will be relatively small amounts. It's not a complete nutritious breakfast. And again, it's fairly highly processed. But from a strictly fat loss point of view, which is what we're focusing on here, it is fairly good for fat loss. Again, I love cereal. I don't eat it too often. In moderation, again, it is absolutely fine. And what you'll find is, if you do have cereal, you'll get to about 10 AM after you've filled in MyFitnessPal or whatever calorie tracker you're using, and you've only had 250 or 300 calories for breakfast. Of course, there is the protein aspect of it, so there is barely any protein in it. So the only protein you're really going to be getting is from the milk. However, you can get some protein cereals out there as well. I know like Aldi and Lidl do some, and other supermarkets are coming into it as well. But really, if you're wanting to increase the protein on it, you probably want to go for like a protein shake in it. But from a pure weight and fat loss point of view, this is definitely a step up from the previous two high calorie breakfast options. But is it perfect? No. That is why it's the middle of the road. So let's go on to number 4, and we're really stepping up a level here. This one is an omelette with veggies. Now this is something we've all had in the past. It's very, very simple. 3-4 eggs, whisk them up, make an omelette, and you add whatever veggies you want to it, whether that's peppers, spinach, tomatoes, a little bit of cheese, and you're all good. Now this is a great option for breakfast. There is a fairly balanced meal. Obviously we don't have any carbohydrates in there, but you can easily add that with some wholemeal bread or some sourdough. But you have high proteins, you have good fats in there, you have the nutrition from the veggies, and you have one of the only natural sources of vitamin D that you can find in food. And at the end of the day, eggs are very, very nutrient dense. They're a superfood for a reason. So this is a terrific breakfast for you all to have. So the benefits of this breakfast, you have the protein and the fats in there, which are going to keep you full for a very, very long time. If you have a 3-egg omelette on a morning with some veggies and everything, that is probably going to sit in your stomach and keep you full until lunchtime. And again, if you wanted to add some carbohydrates, you can have a slice or two of sourdough bread or wholemeal bread. And again, that's going to increase the fibre, and it's not going to add too many calories to this meal. But bear in mind, it will add calories. But it is lacking that carbohydrate factor if you don't add that bread to the meal. Also, if you're a busy person, this is going to take time out of your morning to prepare. So bear that in mind. This is why it's level 4. It's just not practical for the majority of people. It's an amazing weekend breakfast, but for everyday use, this may not be practical. But you'll notice that's number 4. So what is number 5? What is the best breakfast option in my opinion? Well, I actually did a video on it a little while ago. You can go check it out. I'm going to take a gamble because I always get this wrong right there. But to cut to the chase, it is overnight oats or protein oats. Versatile. Look at that versatility coming in already. This can be a hot or a cold breakfast that typically I probably have about 70 to 80% of the time throughout the year. I've been having this for years. Fills you up, you get lots of nutrients in it, and it's very high in protein. Bit of milk or almond milk in there, frozen fruit, whack it into the microwave for 2 or 3 minutes, add in my protein powder, stir it up, and maybe if I'm feeling adventurous, add a little bit of peanut butter on there, just so it's a complete meal. Now you can also mix it all together and just stick it in the fridge and just enjoy it in the morning as overnight oats. It tastes delicious depending on what kind of protein powder you're having, but is high in protein, high in fibre, highly satiating, great complex carbohydrates. You can chuck as much fruit in there as you want, and typically it comes in at under 500 calories. It is a very, very versatile dish, and I love it, and that's why I put it as number 5, top tier for weight loss. It's going to keep you full way up until lunchtime. So that's it, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and comment down below which breakfast out of those is your favourite. Now if this gets enough likes, I'll make a part 2 because this was very, very fun. We could do it for lunch, we could do it for tea, we could do it for snacks, and I quite enjoyed doing this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!